Dr. Angela, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is William Amzallag, and I am Generation Young. Welcome to all the people from Australia. I'm calling you from France with 9 hours difference, and today we are going to talk about reserve. As I told you, and I told many people, we have good news that life is extended every day of 6 hours, plus 25%. You don't believe me? Look, in 1900, the average life expectancy was around 40 years. In the year 2000, it jumped to 80. It doubled in 100 years. And if you do the calculation, that's like 6 hours per day, which is a very good news. That's make also that we have a lot of centenarian all over the world, especially in Asia and in the Asia Pacific. So yes, the average has increased drastically. It doesn't stop. As you can see in this slide, in 2030, the average expectancy of life in Australia will be 87. Now, there is something which I have to tell you. It's okay to live until the age of 87, but if you take the statistic about living in good health, it dropped at least for 10 years. Means that what we are looking today is to live longer and in good health. We call it successful aging, the ability to serve at the age of 80. And believe me, this is possible. So in order to understand, we have to understand why we are aging. Why are we aging? Until now, or until 20 years ago, we thought that aging was a result of accumulating birthday. But that's not true. You know, aging is there inside our cells, inside our nucleus, inside our DNA. That's where aging is. And what happened is that DNA damage every day. There is 200 or 300,000 damage every day, every day. So aging is the end result of three things: DNA damage, telomere shortening, and stem cell spool shortening. And I will explain every one. If we start by DNA damage, that's what the scientists call progressive senescence, which means simply that the cells is tired of all this damage and they start to age because impossible to repair all that every day. And these DNA damage are everywhere. It's coming from outside, from the environment, and it's coming from inside. You know, outside, there is so many reasons to damage our DNA and to increase mutation, like infection, UV, poor nutrition, pollution, electromagnetic pollution, heavy metals, smoking, stress, and sedentary lifestyle. Inside, and this is very serious, oxidation is the most important cause of DNA damage, and oxidation occurs every day, every second. It's normal, but too much oxidation is not normal. And then you have inflammation. Inflammation is damaging our DNA. You see, and inflammation is now part of our life, unfortunately. And again, glycation, if when you eat too much sugar, the sugar glue the protein between them, you know, and that's create a lot of difficulties, especially on the skin. Why all that is bad for our health and our life expectancy? You know, cells divide all the time. And when cells divide, the DNA also duplicates. But if DNA is damaged, what happens? You know, on the genes inside the chromosome, the codes to manufacturing proteins are missing someone. And if protein are missing, what happened? We can lead to premature aging and chronic diseases. Fortunately, we have a DNA maintenance service which is almost perfect. When I said almost perfect, because it works so well for the first 30 or 40 years. And after that, unfortunately, our maintenance service is not as fast as it was before. So Jeunesse target is to help this maintenance service to be the best that it can be. So the second cause of aging is telomere shortening. You know, these yellow caps, which are protecting the DNA and the chromosome, are called telomeres. And they are part of what we call sequence, the same sequence, going and going and going. The problem is that, you know, at each division, these caps is shortening and shortening. No problem, because the sequence, the nucleotide sequence is the same, so no big deal. The problem is when they reach 50 to 70 division, which is a limit, then there is no more cap. Now, when there is no more cap, we have a problem. We have a problem because the cells will stop to divide and will become what we call senescent. Well, when cells become senescent, it's bad because it's sending all the waste to the surrounding cells, and especially some inflammatory molecule called cytokines. And this is what happens when the cells age, just stop to divide and they become senescent. So there is a ratio in our body between healthy cells and senescent cells, which has to be kept on a regular balance. Means we have to compensate senescent cells by new healthy cells. But if the ratio go more than 50% of senescent cells, we have a problem. Aging and disease start to be serious. The third reason to age is stem cells. I'm sure that you know that stem cells are the fountain of youth, the real one. You know, our first cell, when we start to make a baby, it's called embryonic stem cells. And this is the first one. From this one, all our body will be mobilized and manufactured. So stem cells pool are very important, because once the baby born, we have stem cells a little everywhere, and these stem cells are in charge of renewing cells when the cells go down. And this is a very, very important task. Unfortunately, those stem cells, they have telomeres and they have DNA and they can die. So the big problem is to keep our pool of stem cells in good shape. So to make a long story short, the biggest problem that we have, and that's why we call it, yes, youth enhancement system, is to help the DNA to maintain a good shape. And that's why we build an entire line of products which are in accordance with the youth enhancement system. Let's talk about the product today where I am going to focus. Reserve. Now, if you see the word reserve, it has been nominated like that or named like that because of the resveratrol name. And this was the first product that Jeunesse has launched 12 years ago. And it's still the first cells in the world. So you have a new version. You have a new version. I'm not going to go in detail in terms of different ingredient that you have. But yes, you have a new version of reserve which have been updated, upgraded. It's like a premium reserve that you have here. And what this reserve do? The first thing is because of all these fantastic ingredient, it's a strong antioxidant. Now, we have see that oxidation is a major source of DNA damage. So we can say that by bringing more antioxidant to the body, we are helping DNA to maintain a good shape, to maintain, to repair, to regenerate. That's what we can do with good antioxidant. But, reserve have another target, which by itself can improve longevity. It is what we call calorie restriction. If we eat less, we can live longer. This is a scientific fact. If we eat 40% less, we can live 30% longer. So, why? Why eating less can increase our longevity? My mother always told me, son, eat. Today, she should tell me, don't eat too much, please, if you want to live longer. Well, why? Coming back to the genes, we have to understand that we have 20 to 30,000 genes in each chromosome. Now, those genes have the secret codes to manufacture proteins, but they are not working full-time all. Only 5 to 10% of our genes are working depending on the demand. And some genes are sleeping all our life. They are sleeping all our life unless there is a danger. And starving is a danger. So when you starve, there is some genes which will wake up. We call them survival genes. They will wake up, and what they do? They do fantastic things. It's called sirtuin. There is 7 types of sirtuin, and those genes will lead to protein called sirtuin proteins. Okay? And the SIRT protein are involved in energy metabolism, cellular stress response, genomic stability, which is the gene stability, and stopping any tumors to come. You see, it's modulated lifetime to many type of special chemical reaction, which we will not go. But the most important is that the sirtuin gene or enzyme will act as a bodyguard around the DNA, helping to delay cellular senescence and extending lifestyle. And there is plenty of articles saying that sirtuin are known to regulate diverse cellular processes, include DNA repair, you see, and sustaining genome integrity. We have thousands of articles which are confirming that sirtuin are very important in aging. So when sirtuin are activated, there is a whole process of survival coming in our body. And that's what we try to do with resveratrol. Now, let me explain you why. We find out that starving is not a therapy. Starving is not practical. You cannot ask all over the world people to eat 40% less than their usual practices. So, scientists try to find something in nature which can help you to activate sirtuin without having to starve. And they find it the first things, but now we have many other products. They find the solution in the polyphenol of red wine. It happened that I personally participate to the research in in 1997, and you see here in the University of Cambridge, we were one of the first to prove the role of red wine extract in sirtuin activation here. And here again, we have the first extract from the wine in Cambridge University. This man is Professor Alan Howard, very, very known in this field. And then we present it in many countries, including in Cuba. And we presented in the World Congress of Atherosclerosis in Stockholm. So yes, I was one of the first, and this is why I am very interested in the role of resveratrol, which now is extracted from the skin of the black grapes. Now there is other way to extract resveratrol in grape or in myrrh, in red fruits. That's what we have with your new formula of resveratrol in reserve. So the one who discovered the exact role of resveratrol is Professor David Sinclair in Harvard, but you probably know that David Sinclair is Australian origin. So reserve is what we call a calorie restriction mimetic. It's look like you are starving, but you are not. And it's when you take it, it's activating sirtuin genes, which are producing sirtuin proteins. What are the health benefits of this product? There is short-term benefits, which are very, very good. The increased energy availability in the muscle. You know, you improve muscular strength. You reduce muscular fatigue. You increase, and that's maybe the most important, you increase mitochondria energy. Now, mitochondria are the power of the cells, you know, the battery of the cells. There is approximately several hundred to 2,000 small mitochondria in every cell. If you multiply by 60 trillion cells, you see how many mitochondria we have. So yes, reserve is increasing mitochondria energy. It's improved muscular coordination, which is very, very important for all people. It's improved focus and memory. And it's improved fat regulation because you are spending more energy, and then you are improving the burning of fat. Who can take that? Almost everybody in the family, including your pets, if you have the money for that, of course. Yes, everybody can take that. You can take from 1 to 3 sachet pack a day. That is the recommended doses. Now, if you want to have better efficiency, better results, you have to associate reserve with good lifestyle, because this is very important with good nutrition, because we know that nutrition can positively or negatively affect gene expression and longevity. Also, you have to have regular exercise, because we know that exercise influence gene expression. And you must, for instance, fasting and exercise boost sirtuin, and we call NAD levels. We have to know how to manage stress, because our emotion can influence gene expression. And we have to manage our attitudes and forget about toxic relations. In conclusion, our life is running too fast. Can we delay aging? Yes, we can, but it will be a synergetic action of all the things that I told you. I hope this was convincing to take the new reserve premium. My name is William Amzallag, and I am Generation Young. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Dark cherry, blueberry, Concord grape, pomegranate, and acai berries. We've blended these 5 superfruits into one refreshing, powerful, and delicious supplement. Reserve. Each fruit in Reserve was specifically selected for its antioxidant level, nutrition profile, and great taste, and then boosted with aloe vera, grapeseed, and green tea extracts, and Reserve's most influential ingredient, resveratrol. This heart-friendly polyphenol has been the subject of decades of research and gained a worldwide reputation. Proven protection. CAP-E laboratory tests showed that Reserve may enter and protect red blood cells from free radical damage. Reserve is the perfect combination of 5 superfruits, heart-friendly resveratrol, and other scientifically studied ingredients into one refreshing, powerful, and delicious supplement. Reserve. It's vitality reserved for you.
Who here loves Reserve? Okay, now I might not say resveratrol quite as sexy as Dr. Amzallag, but I will give it a go. Now, yes, Lyndon does it well. Now, who noticed something about that video in this package that I'm holding? It's new. Yes, now this is one of the most highly anticipated, talked about packaging questions in the last 2 years of my life. If you remember, we launched the new packaging 2.5 years ago now, and we had been moving through some old boxes. But some very good news for you is shipping in April is our new packaging. But not only our new packaging, is we have a new and improved formula. Now, I know Reserve is a favourite. Like, who in this room has not taken Reserve? Okay, great. I was glad I did not see any hands. But if you think back to when Reserve was formulated, it launched in the US in 2009. We launched it here in 2012. You know, quite some years have passed. So what we've decided to do in line with our new packaging is get a new ingredient to bring in a more bioavailable source of resveratrol. So with that comes a very, very small taste difference. The resveratrol still comes from the mulberry extract. In our last formula, it still came from the mulberry extract, but with the improvement over the years in ingredients, we worked with Dr. A and Dr. G to source this new mulberry extract, which is more bioavailable for the body. One of the other big things about this Reserve that is another big talked about question is our packaging and how good it is for the environment. So you will notice with this Reserve box, it is a little bit softer, and our packages are also, they just feel a little bit different. But what we're attempting also as a company, it is very important to us to ensure that we are doing what we can do for the environment. So every time we launch new packaging or we launch new products, we are looking to make sure they are biodegradable a lot quicker than our old packaging. So I know that is a big thing. I see a lot of claps here in the audience here. It's a big thing that I'm asked about consistently. You know, what are Jeunesse doing for the environment? So, you know, when you get your new packaging, you know, just have a feel. The consistency has not changed. The ingredient change, you will notice a bit of a slight flavour change. Our last mulberry extract had a little bit of a bittery taste. This one has a very smooth, sweet taste. It is, in my opinion, much, much better. Do you want to have a try? You want to have a try? You want to have a try? Okay, let's get some music happening. Where's my helpers? Incoming! Incoming! Oh. Ready? Coming, coming. We've got Louise and Jerry helping. And I'm out. I'm out. So guys, keep an eye out. It will start shipping in April. And I hope you love the new formula as much as I do. Thank you very much.